All right, I've been waiting a long time to make these videos. So after my whole Yu-Gi-Oh anime deck profiles were done, I was wondering what can I do next, right? So I remember clearly my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh era was Ghost format. However, when I was playing it, I wasn't like super into the TCG, but I knew about it. I just didn't know it was called Ghost format. Anyways, that era, like before and during Goat format, that was like my favorite time for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I remember that two structure decks were out. It was the zombie, I think it was called Zombie Madness, the one that presented, Vampire Lord and Vampire Genesis, and clearly the Dragons deck, where they used the Red Ice Dark Dragon. I forgot the name of the boss monster, but anyways, based on that, I was like, can I make a deck that kind of mimics those structure decks, but also uses like some of the really good spell and trap cards that we had at the time? And then I kept thinking more. I was like, why don't I just make like 4 different goatless goat decks for that era for dueling? So without further ado, this is a version of a zombie goat deck. However, as you will see, it's not like the top tier deck at the time. It's just like honestly, it's like easy decks for casual play, but I'll be presenting it here. So first things first, I put the tribute monsters and back, from the weakest to the strongest, because of course, the whole reason I made this deck is because I love Vampire Lord. So I just, so clearly I have to put 2. So 2 Vampire Lords for this deck. Another one of my favorite zombies of all time is Dark Dust Spirit. This thing, it wipes the board. It's basically a dark hole. If anyone doesn't know, it's an old card. You sacrifice a monster, clearly, tribute. And as soon as it hits the board, it just destroys every monster and it returns to the hand the next turn, so you can reuse it as well. It's a really annoying card. Next up, because there was one in the deck, but I also like the effect of this card, Ryu Koki. Now, clearly I have 3. Sadly, the super rare version of this card is like $20. I'm not spending $60 just for 3 pieces of cardboard. Next up, I think something similar, I don't remember, the Despair from the Dark, 3 of them, just because it's like, the strongest monster besides Vampire Genesis. So these are the tribute monsters. So, of course, more than 5 tribute monsters, as you can see. And clearly it's because, if you guys remember from this deck, the whole point was to special summon, and you have the magic card called the Mummy, so we're going to be spamming that. Now for the level 4 monsters, clearly, you don't want to get stuck. You have there was a limit, there was a problem. There wasn't that many zombie monsters when this deck came out. So 3 at least valuable monsters that I consider for this deck: 3 regenerating mummies, 2 double Costin, of course the legendary Pyramid Turtle. Should probably like hide the next card, right? 3 Pyramid Turtles. I had to get them, secret rare, right? And then last, I think it's the last one, 3 Spirit Reapers, because this guy is freaking annoying. Alright, just like from a basic, you have to play with like magic or trap cards, cannot be destroyed by battle. And of course I love the rarity. Alright, now for the magic cards, of course, now from the rest of the decks, these are going to be very similar. Only a few things, only like 6 magic cards are going to change, just to fit in with the type of the deck. So first off is your draw power, Graceful Charity, and Pot of Greed. Next up, your board wipes like Lightning Vortex and Heavy Storm. And then after that, what's the last card behind this? I forgot. Oh, Premature. Okay. Then you have Snatch Steal, right? To take away the monsters, and Premature Burial, Special Summon. Now we have 3 Book of Life, basically Monster Reborn for zombies, and you get to remove a monster from your opponent's deck. Clearly, there's some cards that they didn't want to run in these decks, aka like Blackluster Soldier, because I think like as soon as you summon Blackluster Soldier, if you don't have like a magic and trap cards, like it's tough. It's like you practically almost won the game. Not fully, but almost there. So 3 Book of Life, and then lastly for the magic cards, you got 3 Call of the Mummy. What the heck is that back in here? Anyways, let's continue. I think that's actually outside of the apartment. Alright, so now lastly for the trap cards, which there were fantastic trap cards in this era. You have Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, Magic Cylinder. I love Magic Cylinder. Clearly these decks are also based on a YouTube video that I saw. So thank you. I gotta find it so I could post it on this, as a link, just so you guys can look at that video. But yeah, I love Magic Cylinder. It's like such a Yugi move, and it's like this can end duels, right? Then we have Ceasefire. Not my favorite card, but it's still very good, very useful, just to get rid of those flip effect cards. I think it was limited, so that's why it was here. As you're gonna see, I made these decks also for anyone who wants to play. We can play around and change deck, cards in and out. But Ceasefire is a pretty good card. And we have Call of the Mummy, and then the last two cards, the Magic Jammer and 7 Tools. Once again, those cards are there just to be annoying, like to have a chance to stop your opponent from doing something. Because clearly, if you look at the like the tournament ones, they usually don't run these cards, so kind of a way of making it slower, but also not a dead draw. You can also, like, if you fear your opponent having a Mirror Force, you have that, right? Okay, now for the side deck, I went with Vampire Genesis because, come on, it's like we're running two Vampire Lords. There is a secret version, even though it's a speed duel of Vampire Genesis. Like, okay, I want a boss monster like that, let's do it. I don't know why this guy, it's a pretty old card, but it's so busted. Patrician of Darkness. I love this card. The art looks pretty cool. The effect is pretty okay. It's not like a top tier card or anything. It's just one of those cards I've always wanted to play, but it was never that good to actually get out of my way to play it, Then we have Vampire Lady, just to keep up with the zombies, Vampire Lords. Then we have, I think this is the last monster. No, we have one more monster. It's the Master Konishi, sorry. First time actually reading it. And, okay, so I had a third double costume, apparently. So we just have it there. Now, you must be wondering, why didn't I put this card in the deck? Well, it practically is, right? I didn't put it in the deck because by the time I was doing these decks, this card was $20. So I waited for, I think it was like the stamping, that new pack. Darn, I just forgot. It's been a while since I made these decks. I was waiting for have everything complete and actually have time to make these videos. This card was $20 and it dropped down to $3 or $4. So I was like, okay, finally I can actually get this card. So this actually goes in the deck. Nobleman Crossout, another fantastic card just to get rid of those face down monsters. Book of Moon. I love the shenanigans you can do with this card. You can protect from an attack, or if you have Snatch Steal, Book of Moon face down, you control the monster. It's fantastic. Mystical Space Typhoon, also for dealing with the back row. As you can see, this deck has 3 Call of the Mummy, so you kind of want to get rid of those. But I'm talking about the other decks that I'll be presenting, so this is clearly also in the deck specific space. Creature Swap. I love Creature Swap. This is so stupid. You can just use Scapegoat and use Creature Swap. It's another fantastic card. And now for the trap cards, because there were still other trap cards that I wanted to add to these decks. Sakaretsu Armor. It's like the Sheepman's version of a Mirror Force. Phoenix Wing Blast. I usually don't like cards that you have to discard. But I've seen a lot of people run this card. The art is amazing. The effect is fantastic. You return 1 card not even to the hand, to the top of the deck. So it's like you already know when he's gonna draw. So you're basically making him stall more and more. Very good card. And this one, so it's cheaper, but it goes to the hand. Compulsory Evacuation Device. I also like this card. Then we have Widespread Ruins. Again, this is a card that is not that famous, maybe not used that much in tournament play, but it's another Sakaretsu Armor, and I love the artwork, and it's secret rare, so why not? And then lastly, this was common, but I've also seen it played a lot, and I think it's a very good card, Raigeki Break. And there you have it. That is my Goatless Goat format, I forgot the name of the structure deck, but zombie deck, right? So, one final shot. Have it there. Have this one there. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.